The Awakened Awareness of Separation, Part-03.
Hirani Deepak. Is he here?
Pujyashree Deepakbhai.
Where are you? Yes, go on.
Pujyashree, Jagruti, awakened awareness, does not remain at all.
Who realized that Jagrati does not remain?
I did.
Would someone who is asleep say, I am not awake? He would be out for 3 hours. And a person that is awake would feel, I am dozing off a little. I am not able to stay awake. A person that is awake would realize this. A person that is asleep would not.
I realized that after having heard someone, then the awareness that I don't want anything temporary besides the experience of the pure soul also kicks in. May Deepak have the same goal that Niruma had. However, this awareness comes after I have heard someone.
That's fine. Does that awareness come after 12 hours or 2 days?
No, it happens immediately.
Then fix it immediately. Make file 1 do pratikraman right away. Make Deepakbhai do it. You make your Deepak do it. Don't come to my Deepak. Otherwise, you will tell me, Deepak do pratikraman. Hey, you make your file 1 do it.
The other thing is, whenever I want to attend a satsang or a program, if I lie, then the adjustments are made at work. But if I tell the truth and come, then I don't get leave or some other problems arise. This time I have come with official leave.
Did you lie for it?
Yes, only then does everything get taken care of properly.
Then when you go back to work after 4 days of leave, do the best work you can on the 5th day and continue that for the next month or 2. Until the next program. Work heartily and make up for having missed work. So then work in a manner that no one has any complaints against you.
Alright, Jai Satchidanand.
For now, lie if you have to. You are lying for the self.
Yes.
Eventually, have the intent, may I be able to take leave without lying. Pray to the person's pure soul in this manner. O pure soul, I ask for forgiveness for lying. I don't have the desire to lie. May the circumstances become favorable so that I can be honest and attend the shibirs and satsangs. I will work sincerely throughout the rest of the year, but grace me so that I can attend satsangs. Pray to the pure soul of the person in charge of granting you leave.
Yes, everything worked out properly this time around. I have taken leave to come here.
Very nice.
Jai Satchidanand.
Kamala, Simandar City.
When I tried the process of conversing with file 1 to maintain separation, I can do it once or twice and then it stops. Then I don't realize when I got engrossed.
On the contrary, women can talk about 3 generations of family members. When the conversation stops, say, hey, why did you stop speaking to me? Is there any problem? Why aren't you saying anything? When you talk like this, it will start again. Weren't you taking care of 3 generations at Dada Darshan?
Yes, I was.
You would serve them tea and chit-chat with them for 2 hours.
Yes, but I don't remember such positive things. I cannot show positive things to file 1. Things like, you had done this seva. The process of conversing just stops without my knowing.
What you should do is, see what Kamalaben did from morning till now. That way you are separate. First see all the activities of the body, then gradually see the speech, and then the mind. If you want to dig deeper, then check where the chit or subtle component of knowledge and vision wandered. See what kind of interference the intellect caused. See the suffering of the ego. Gradually, first observe the actions of the physical body. She woke up and... She does it in such a rush. Is the water going to run out? No, it's not, but I just like to finish things fast.
She is always in a rush.
Yes. So observe how hastily file 1 does things. She will have tea on one burner and milk on the other while she is getting the snacks out and trying to set the plates.
And the tea boils over and spills.
The tea boils over and spills. Ask her, why are you in such a hurry? She wants to finish things fast. So make her go from doing 5 things at once to 3, and then gradually take her down to doing only 2. Keep nagging her. Doesn't the mother-in-law nag the daughter-in-law? So the daughter-in-law feels like separating from the mother-in-law. So nag Kamala in the same way. Then the separation will occur.
I do nag her for some time, but then it stops again.
And if she is doing something good, tell her that as well. You run to satsang every day, that is so nice. But you are dozing off in satsang, that isn't good. You take an afternoon nap for 3 hours after a heavy meal, is that a good thing? Instead, do some samek. You can warn her.
She is lazy about doing Samaik as well.
She may be lazy, but you can warn her. If she heeds the warning, that's great. And if she doesn't, then she will do so later. But you should play your part.
I try to see the chit when it is wandering elsewhere. I say, come back to the pure soul. Come back to the pure soul. At that time, I feel some resistance from within.
That is because it is stuck due to moh or illusory attachment. If you try to rip it off, it feels disgust.
Yes, it doesn't rip off.
If you tell her to say, this jewelry is not mine, it belongs to the daughter-in-law. This jewelry is not mine, it belongs to the daughter-in-law. If she repeats this 5 times, she will break into a sweat. It is indeed mine. How can I say it belongs to the daughter-in-law? So then, you should tell her, yes dear, it is indeed yours.
I have more moh for my son than my daughter. I cannot come out of that moh. I don't have any jewelry. So where's the question in that?
Only if you had jewelry could you have moh for it. But the Prakriti or relative self is like this. If you try to get the chit to let go of its stickiness, it will feel disgust. So you should converse with her cautiously. Tell her, you don't have to give up everything, but can you donate some for Lord Simandar Swami? Yes, I will donate there, but I will certainly not give it to my daughter-in-law. That's fine. Donate it to Lord Simandar Swami. You can make her let go of it in this manner. We released that which was stuck. By doing so, conversation with file 1 happens, separation occurs, and we can recognize the moh and dissolve it.
It is indeed the moh that I want to dissolve.
It will dissolve by recognizing
I
it.
realize that she invites her son over and calls him due to moh. When she does all that, I feel, look at how much moh you have. I say a sentence or two like this, and then the conversation stops.
That's fine. Make her ask for energy. Ask for energy 5 times. If someone is hurt by her speech, then tell her to recite the 5th kalam 5 times. In this manner, keep Kamla Ben occupied. Don't let her sit idle.
I don't want her to sit idle, but she gets engrossed.
That's alright. Let her get engrossed in the positive and not in the negative. That is why Dada had taught us that the Prakriti is such that it will indeed get engrossed. So Dada has showed us a way out. Let the worldly interactions be filled with seva, satsang, and devotional worship to such an extent that the Prakriti remains engrossed in that. By doing so, the worldly interests will dissolve, the kashai and worldly interactions will shed off, and the energies of the self will increase. Because you become the form that you worship. If you cannot maintain complete jagrati, then one step lower than that is to have your worldly interactions in seva, in devotional worship, in viddhis, in reading Dada's literature. Then all of this will... Seva is such a thing that she may be doing the seva of dusting the furniture, but what is the intent behind the dusting? I am keeping the house clean for Mahatmas. Because your intent has changed, it gets credited in the account of the self. The Prakriti remained as is, however, because you turned back. Earlier you were doing it for your son, and now you are doing it for Mahatmas. Because the intent behind doing it has changed, it gets credited in the account of the self.
But will the moh leave?
Yes, the moh will continue to dissolve as a result of this.
And this file 1, she has a prakriti filled with kashai. So she does kashai in seva as well.
When she does that, make her do pratikraman. Don't quit seva for this reason.
No, I don't want to quit seva.
That's right. Some people say, I get into arguments in seva, so I'm not going to do seva.
No.
Then what will she do? She will get into some other argument. She will interfere at home. Instead, it's best to continue with the seva. As for the kashai that arise in seva, the kashai don't arise because of seva, they arise because of our lack of understanding.
Yes.
They arise because of our insistence, because we hold on to our viewpoint.
Yes, I end up insisting.
Keep washing that off.
I insist that this had to be done. Why did you not do it?
Keep washing that off now. So divide it into 2 parts. One is the activities of seva, which are separate, and the other is the kashai that arise in seva because of a lack of understanding. Wash off the kashai with jnana.
Give me the energy to do that.
Yes.
Deepakbhai, give me the energy to not do kashai in seva.
Yes, that's correct. Sushila Ben Prajapati. Next is Goswami Bikagiri, Vegani Nagar.
Jai Sachidanand Pujyashree. I have not sent in a question. I'm not sure how it came.
Sushila Ben Prajapati from Uttar Sanda?
Yes.
Are you from Uttar Sanda?
Yes, from Uttar Sanda. I haven't sent in a question today. I wanted to ask a question, but this question came suddenly. I don't know who wrote it and sent it.
Your file too must have sent it in.
Yes, I got in a little argument with him this morning, but a satisfactory solution came about later.
It did, right? So whose fault did you find?
I found my own.
Good. If one finds their own mistakes, then a satisfactory solution can come about. And if you see the faults of others, then forget about a solution. The quarrel will escalate.
Yes, and our home. It has been 7 years since we took Gnan, but some days when we get into such arguments, I feel, why isn't our home becoming like heaven?
The reason for that is, if you see faults of others, then arguments will start. So the home becomes like hell instead of heaven. We can't call it hell, but we come back down to earth.
Yes, that is exactly what happens.
But if you see the other person as a pure soul and as flawless, then the home will remain like heaven.
We are the only ones from Uttarsanda that are in Dada. So all the people in our village refer to our home as being Dada's home. If someone says, "Where are you going?" they say, "We're going to Dada Bhagwan's home."
That's good.
Yet, someday when we get into such arguments, I feel...
The arguments happen only on certain days, correct?
Yes, I feel very bad about it.
Only once in a year?
Yes, and it only happens with File 2 and no one else.
And it is about coming to satsang, right?
Yes.
Then that is great, isn't it? Coming to satsang.
Regardless, we do end up coming.
Keep coming, because one needs to go to see the doctor if his leg is hurting. If you come here, it will get healed.
Give me the energy so that this doesn't happen again, and may all our garbage empty out completely.
Yes.
May we get our spiritual work done now that we have met Dada.
On days when arguments happen, do pratikaman for 1 hour.
All right.
Tell your File 2, you do it for an hour and I will also do it for an hour. If he doesn't do it, then you do it for 2 hours.
Everyone in the village addresses him as Dada Bhagwan. People say, "Who is this person?" They say, "It is Dada Bhagwan."
No, not like that.
Even then, my garbage erupts only at home, not outside.
Yet you should say, Dada Bhagwan is Dada Bhagwan. I am a small person. It is with the blessings of Dada Bhagwan that we do satsang at our home. All of you please come.
All of them come. Some Mahatmas come just to do devotional viewing.
Good. Goswami, Shyam Chauhan, Bhopal, Goswami Bikagiri.
Salutations. The following sentence is in the Charan Vidhi. Amidst all worldly desires and intents that tend to anoint, I remain eternally unanointed as the pure soul. All these sentences are recited with the visual contemplation of Dada.
Yes.
This is the Jagruti of separation. Is that correct?
Yes.
Then the rest of the sentences, let me attain your naturalness of mind, speech, and body. And the rest of the sentences, let me and all the auspicious self-realized Mahatmas. I say these with Dada's picture in front of me. So, am I not mixing this up?
That's fine. You are ultimately addressing Dada Bhagwan.
Correct.
So whether you think of Ambalal Patel or the Gnani Purush or Dada Bhagwan, he will set all of that and give you his blessings.
Alright. And if we were to recite the entire Charan Vidhi with the visual contemplation of Dada, will that do?
Yes, that is very good.
Okay. Then the other thing, Pujyashree, is that every night I wake up in the middle of the night and I have gotten into the habit of singing Dada Bhagwan na asim jai jaikar in bed instead of getting into negative thoughts. This has become a habit for me every night. A few days back, my son told me, "Dad, you're snoring. Stop snoring. You're scaring mom." So I responded, "I'm not snoring. I'm singing Dada Bhagwan na asim jai jaikar." And I realized that my son had told me this. So I immediately told him, "I'm not snoring, I'm singing. Dada Bhagwan na asim jai jaikar ho." So what is that?
It's like this. When you wake up at 3 a.m., the body is still partially asleep. So you think, I am singing Asim Jai Jaikar, but the body is snoring. You may have dozed off in between. So you should say, I will take care. Or go to another room and sing.
Alright, Jai Sachidanand.
Or in the winter, wrap yourself in a blanket and sit in the balcony and sing.
Jai Sachidanand.
Or you can recite it in your mind and peacefully fall asleep. Don't tax your body unnecessarily. Daksha Rajkot, Maheshpai Bavla.
Jai Sachidanand Deepakbhai.
Go ahead.
Jagruti remains, but when the force of karma is too strong, then it doesn't remain.
You should remain as a knower that today it did not remain. To realize that Jagriti did not remain is also Jagriti. Then later on, for example, if strong winds are blowing to the south, then our boat will be pulled in that direction. When the winds die down, we can steer it back to the north. In this way, We have received this Gnan without having exhausted our karma, so we should understand the solutions. When the force of karma ends, again climb the ladder of Gnan.
Even if I set the Gnan, it remains within for some time.
What remains?
The unsettling feeling.
That will indeed happen. You have to see that. That is called the filled stock. The ego is effective. To remain separate from the worldly effects that arise is called penance. By doing this penance, the ego will dissolve. The fault will dissolve along with the ego, and the suffering will also dissolve. Then, if you were to go back and check, there will be no suffering. Why is that? Because the sufferer has dissolved. So this is the solution for it. See the restlessness that arises within and see the apparent doer as being faultless. What is the biggest mistake that happens? When there is suffering within, the apparent doer is seen as being at fault. It is because of this person that my life was spoiled. I am having to suffer because of him. I suffered a loss because of him. There is never because of him. One suffers because of one's own faults. Without causes, there can never be an effect. No one is at fault. See the apparent doer as being faultless, and see your own faults, so the faults will keep on dissolving.
Jai Sachidanand.
Parmar Rekhaben.
Jai Sachidanand.
Go ahead.
I am able to do regular Charan Vidhi, read and do Samaik. However, the Jagruti of separation, it remains for some time. Then when I get involved in work, it goes away.
That's all right. But when you make a mistake while working, Jagrati arises immediately, doesn't it?
Yes, Jagruti arises.
So Jagrati is there within.
That's not what I mean. Say if I am working for 2 to 2.5 hours, then it all goes away.
That's fine. When the work ends, separate it. Oh, you finished the work? Now come out of the kitchen. Let us read Dada's speech.
The Jagruti of separation that you talk about setting, Rekha remains separate while working. It still doesn't become separate like that for me.
It is such that, understand this in short, is the one doing the work the pure soul or is it Rekha?
Rekha is the one doing it.
Understand that and gradually keep it in Jagrati. Gradually it will come into experience. But maintain the understanding. Whose work is this? It is hers.
Yes.
For example, thoughts that arise are of the mind. Speech is the taped record playing, and the body is doing the actions. After understanding all this, remain in that Jagrati. If it doesn't remain, then reset it. They are the real doers, not me. Rekhaben is not a doer herself. It is Vyavasthit that is making her do it.
And Pujyashree, I end up seeing a lot of negatives in file 2.
Yes, make her do pratikraman for that, and make a list of his positives. He must have some positives, right?
Yes, there are.
Maybe 1 or 2 more than you, right? Are his positives more or less than yours?
No, there are certainly more.
Just check how many more positives he has than you.
He does have a lot of positives. He doesn't come to satsang, but he allows me to go. He says, you go and do seva.
He has obliged you so much. And men have a lot of positives. They do have a lot. If you observe those attributes, then you will become a man in the next life. And if you keep finding faults in him, if anyone wants to become a woman, then just keep seeing the faults and negatives of others. So in the next life, you will become a woman without much effort.
No, I indeed want to become a man.
If you keep seeing his positives and stop seeing his negatives, you will become a man. It's an easy path. You are free to go in either direction. Aren't there 2 ways on the road? If you go on the left side, you will leave the city. And if you go on the right side, you will enter the city. Both roads are there. You are on the road. It is in your hands to go in or out.
And Pujyashree, give me the energy to do a lot of samaik and pratikraman.
What do you want to do pratikraman for?
For file 2 and for my faults.
Do you want to do pratikraman to improve him?
No, not at all. Not to improve him, to see my own faults.
Yes, that is why you should do it. That's correct.
And may I progress on this path.
You should do seva without kashai. You must be arguing a little bit in seva as well, just like you were arguing at home.
Yes.
The prakriti or relative self is the same, isn't it?
Yes.
She must get into arguments in seva sometimes.
It happens.
So see that. At home, you are arguing with such a nice man. You are arguing with such nice sevarati mahatmas. So the fault lies in you. Do pratikraman. Do seva without kashai.
Give me the energy.
It will come. Everything will become good.
Jai Sachidanand.
This Gnan will take us higher. It will wash off all the faults and make us the absolute self. Champa, Jetpur, Geetaben, Surat.
Jai Sachidanand Pujyashree.
Go ahead.
When bitter circumstances arise, the Jagruti of separation doesn't remain.
Bitter circumstances are the ultimate medicine for Jagruti. Favorable circumstances decrease Jagruti, and unfavorable circumstances increase Jagruti. And when the circumstances to increase Jagruti arise, you throw them away. The bitter medicine was supposed to help you cure the illness, but you didn't take the bitter medicine. Instead, you kept on taking the sweet one, and so the illness grew.
Give me the energy to take the bitter medicine.
Yes, but how will you ask for energy? You should ask for it from Dada Bhagwan. And when a bitter insult comes, think of that person as beneficial. He is very beneficial. He is helping me come out of my faults. He is very beneficial. When bitter circumstances arise, don't you feel, I want to be free, I want to attain liberation?
Yes, that is exactly how I feel.
And if the circumstances are sweet, then you feel, it's fine if I live a bit longer. There's no problem. I can still see with my eyes and hear with my ears. I can stay for some more time. Then when the pain increases, you say, oh God, I want to attain liberation. So think of them as being highly beneficial for you. Unfavorable circumstances are like vitamins, and favorable circumstances are like food. We don't want to cut off the favorable circumstances. However, when unfavorable circumstances arise, take advantage of them. See others as being faultless. Our faults, just like when you spray water or kerosene on a log, the insects within come out. Similarly, when insults come, the tentacles of the ego come out. I am like this, and they did this to me, I will do this. When the ego reacts in this manner, cut it off. Oh, he is very beneficial. I was able to see my fault.
Pujyashree, I surely want to come out of this.
Yes, you will come out of it. Ask for energy and increase the pratikraman. When our intellect shows us faults of others, then we should do pratikraman. And decide that, when I see faults of others, that is indeed my fault. We are seeing things as distorted because of our own faults. If we wash off our faults, we will become faultless. Then we will be able to see the other person as being faultless as well.
Jai Sachidanand.
Geeta Ben and Saroj Doshi. Go ahead.
Jai Sachidanand. I indulge in the pleasure that arises from doership and then realize it.
And if someone else is indulging in it, do you get upset with that person?
I have not experienced that yet.
You will get the experience. Tremendous anger will arise. You are indulging in the pleasure of doership in my presence? You should be ashamed.
In the Shibir at Amreli, I said by mistake, I'm the one that brought all these people. There were 4 others that were involved. Manoj Bhai, Ramesh Bhai, Manu Bhai and Prakash Bhai. All of them had done seva and I ended up saying I was the one that brought them. I felt terrible.
A hungry person cannot think of anyone else. He will fill his stomach first. Later on he realizes, oh, these people didn't get any food.
All of them were helping. How could I have said I was the one that brought them?
This is the work of the ego. Don't people say, the hand goes straight from the plate towards the mouth. If she has some minus for her child, she will feed him. If it is the neighbor's child, she will say, there's no more food, it's all gone, go home. She will feed the one who she thinks is her own and not the one who she thinks is someone else's. It is good that this much Jagrati arose, and the solution for indulging in the pleasure that arises from doership is to distribute the sweet balls or credit to others. Whereas she eats the entire sweet ball and then says, oh, you didn't get any? It is because of your obstructing karma. You surely won't get any. Hey, how can you say that?
However, I went and asked for forgiveness later.
It's good that you did that.
I met them in person and asked for forgiveness. And I realized that Deepakbhai says, even if we keep working alone in a room, that hard work will come to light one day. Why can't I do the work without telling anyone?
There's no need for you to have such an expectation. If I keep working alone in a room, it will come to light one day. Then people will say, oh, you worked alone in a room? That's great. This is your intellect making a backdoor entry.
I see.
We are not the doer. So where is there a need to indulge in the pleasure that arises from doership?
True.
All of this. This is Lord Simandar Swami's mission. Are you aware of that?
Yes.
And the celestial beings are hard at work behind this. Are you aware of that?
Yes.
And besides the people from your village, were there not others that came to this satsang?
Yes.
Were you the one that brought them?
No.
So aren't there other people in this world that bring them as well?
Yes.
So behind this, to break people's obstacles, there are a lot of blessings from the celestial beings. So we should understand that the celestial beings are helping enormously in Dada's mission of spreading the science of liberation. What is it that we are doing? We are not able to do anything besides interfere.
Yes.
We have so much insistence that even if a person wants to come, he doesn't. He says, I don't want to come. Please leave me alone.
Yes.
So surrender all this at the lotus feet of the Lord. With His grace, the celestial beings are doing everything. It is more than enough if we can improve our own self. If we clean our own garbage, then that is more than enough.
I want to share a dream. During the Paryushan Shibir, I got the benefit of doing your seva in my dream. Some lady from Surat said something to a Mahatma and you responded, "Don't say anything to my Mahatmas." So I felt very happy that the Gnan has manifested even more in you than in Dada. The son has exceeded the father. We can all see that.
It may seem that way, but it is such that
I really feel this way.
if I give you 5 million, you feel, oh wow, he gave me 5 million. But it is indeed from Dada's stash that I am serving the people of the world. The apparent doers will keep on changing. It is Dada's earnings that are being given to the world. They are not mine.
No, but your compassion for every Mahatma is the same. You had compassion for every Mahatma. You said, don't say anything to my Mahatmas. When you said that, I felt very happy.
That's good.
You have the same compassion for all Mahatmas.
Very good.
Jai Sachidanand.